We have not been able to say this for quite some time as a Toronto Raptors fan. But what a night last night. From the pregame ceremonies for Vince to facing off against DeMar DeRozan. In a very entertaining game, back and forth. And for DeMar to hit some big shots to force overtime. And by the Raptors find a way to prevail in OT against the Kings, 131-128. Again, still no IQ, still no Scotty Barnes, still no Kelly Olynyk, no Bruce Brown, and they found a way to win. And boy, we'll get into the performances themselves. But let's start with where everyone's mind was yesterday. And Vince Carter, regardless of how you feel, for me personally, I'm a 96 baby, so I didn't really get a chance to fully engulf myself in Vinsanity, whether it's the positive or the negative side of it. I never had to do that, so it's hard for me to judge. But I have learned over my fandom in Toronto sports, when you show that you want to be a part of Toronto, we will love you to death. But the moment you tell us that you don't give a crap and you want out, we'll kick you to the curb and we'll pack your bags for you. Now, that's basically what happened. He was beloved here, but then didn't want to play anymore. Didn't want to be here anymore. It was ugly, from what I can gather. And it was ugly afterwards. And it was ugly for quite a long time afterwards. But then things started to mend. The Raptors won their NBA championship. And people started to go a little softer on it. Now, there are still a lot of parties that are like, no, I don't forgive him for it. And that's fine. That is totally fine. But he is the one player that really put Toronto basketball on the map. Now, there was a very large gap between championship and that. But that's a big reason of why basketball has started to grow in this country. Not just the Toronto Raptors, but basketball in general in this country was watching Vince Carter play. And seeing the ceremony yesterday and seeing the full-on emotions. I mean, he had been fighting it all day long. He had the conference where he had to bring his son up there to give him a hug, and he's in tears. Look, if he's playing this up, which I don't think he was, doing a damn good job of it. I don't think he was doing that, though. Bringing out the family, the great speech from Masai, the great speeches from Vince, and then the banner raising. And look, I don't know about you guys, and I think it seems to be a consensus online, though. That banner is gorgeous. Like, it is absolutely beautiful. From seeing the Vince Carter of it all, the color scheme, 15, chef's kiss, gorgeous. But shout out to Vince. It was an emotional night for a lot of people. When they were panning around to people in the stands, there were tears in people's eyes. And it's how basketball got started in this country, was watching Vince Carter play. So, whether you like him or you hate him, that's the truth. All right? But now let's get into the game itself. So I had to do my spiel at the beginning. Because the Raptors won a basketball game. Now, wins and lessons, crew. I get it, right? We've heard a lot of lessons so far this year. A lot of tight losses, right? You lost by 6 to the Lakers. You lost by 5 to the Hornets. You lost by 2 in overtime to the Nuggets. Very shorthanded. You lost to the T-Wolves in Minnesota. Yeah, a crappy first game against the Cavs. But every other game, you have been in every single one. And the Sacramento Kings are a team that is, supposed to be a good basketball team, right? And they had a DeMar DeRozan in the offseason. They're 4th in points per game in the NBA. They're 6th in pace. They're great offensively. Where are they defensively? Here we are. Offensive rating, they're 9th. Defensive rating, they're 9th in the NBA. Again, it's only 6 games in, but that's where they're at. They're a good team that's going to be going for playoffs this year. And they're going to be a team that's going to be fighting. And the Raptors welcomed them in, and they beat them in overtime. Now, how did they do that? Well, it took a lot of effort from these guys. We obviously know, like I mentioned off the top, still no IQ, still no Scotty Barnes. Obviously, Scotty's going to be gone for a little while, but IQ is still not there. RJ and Grady continue to be outstanding, but that's not the reason they win today. It's the plays from Ochai Agbaji, who had 22, And it's the bench play from Chris Boucher, because man, was he hot. Let's start with the two big guys I mentioned, though. RJ Barrett and Grady. All right, let's start with RJ, and Grady's the one that got the chain from Vince after the game, but we'll get to him in a second. RJ Barrett, 31, 9, and 6. Now, 10 of 26 from the field, but he was 8 of 11 from the free throw line, knocked down 3 threes, had a steal in the ball game, was a +5 on the floor. You look at his last few, what are his averages this year? He's averaging 28.8, 7.3 assists, almost 6 boards a game, shooting basically 50% from the field, 46% from 3. The free throw percentage is down, but the true shooting's good. He's been great. And you look at his last 3 games, he scored 31, 33, and 31. RJ has been outstanding for this team, basically since being a Raptor, right? Because you go to his Raptors numbers last year when he came over from the New York Knicks. He averaged, almost 22 a game, shot 55% from the field. Like, he was outstanding. And he continues that. Now, 26 shots is a lot of shots to take, but he was dominating the ball, had some big shots. That one layup, it was in overtime where he got the and one to go, and he's flexing on him. I'm like, yeah, Canadian boy, love it. It's a great job from RJ last night. Grady Dick, 22, 5, and 2. Did struggle early with the shot. The thing you love about Grady right now, the confidence is there. He knows what he's capable of doing. And I watched him hit that fading baseline jumper. And it was the third or fourth quarter, right? Had a shaky first half of the game. But man, he turned it on there. Knocked down, 6 of 17 from the field, 7 of 7 from the line, 3 of 8 from 3. Had a couple steals in the ball game as well. Threw that absolutely gorgeous alley-oop to who? Ochai Agbaji, I'm going to go to next. 22, 5, and 2. 9 of 12 from the field. 4 of 5 from 3, hitting those corner threes, had 2 steals and a denial in the game. And you look at his averages on the season so far. He's averaging just under 13 points a game, almost 5 boards. He's shooting 59% from the field, 45% from 3. He has been amazing. How old is Ochai? 24 years of age. Again, it's 6 games in, so I'm not going to lose. Or no, what are we, 7 games in? I think we're 7 games in now. I'm not going to say this is who he is, because we've seen guys get hot to start seasons or to end seasons, but I like them getting hot to start years, because when you're at the end of the season and you're 20 games under 500, and who cares, and no one, you're playing the Hornets and you score 35, it's like, okay, fine. But in an early season game, in a game like this, with all the emotions in the building, and for guys like Grady, for guys like RJ and Ochai to put up games like that, outstanding. Jakob Poeltl was bad. Played 33 minutes at 13 and 9, fouled out in the ball game, was a -16 on the floor. Yeah, it was no good. They went to a small ball. They brought in Mogbo, and I thought his energy was great. He ended up fouling out as well, though. 6.6 boards, 2 of 3 shooting. It was a +17 on the floor. Enough said. And as I mentioned, Davion Mitchell. It wasn't a sexy stat line. 4 points, 4 boards, 7 assists in the game, 2 of 6 from the field. Did have 5 steals in the game. Off night, was cooking. But, man, that one, he only made 2 shots, but that crossover, oh my God. Where he's coming downhill, crossover, layup up and through, because he got dude in spin cycles. That was ugly stuff. So, great job by him. What was he on the floor? He was an even player. Played 37 minutes in Davion. So he gave you a great effort. And Chris Boucher, the unsung hero, he was awesome last night. 24 points in 24 minutes, 5 boards, 1 assist, 9 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 of 6 from distance. It was a +13 in the floor, a big-time energy. That's what you're getting from Chris. If he can give you energy on every given night, man, that's just adds an aspect coming off the bench. And as I mentioned, Mogbo 6 and 6 off the bench. Jamison Battle gave you 9 points on 3 of 6 shooting, knocked down 3 threes. Was a +6 on the floor in the 15 minutes. Did a job, didn't hurt you. Love to see it. And Jacoby Walter didn't play too much. 10 minutes of work, -6, whatever. He's a young player. He's going to get some G League time. That's that. But very impressed, man. Last night was great. And even in the losses, they've been very, very fun to watch. They're 2-5 now on the year. I'm not going to overdo it and get too excited and say, hey, maybe. Just hold on a second here. Still hurt quite a bit. The next game, Raptor fans, Monday night in Denver. Yeah, 10 o'clock tip-off. Damn it. But you know what? We're getting these out of the way early. I'm okay with that. Rip the Band-Aid off. Get these things over with. 10 o'clock tip-off Monday night in Denver against the Nuggets. Kind of a rematch, right? You lost that game in OT to Denver earlier on. Was it this week where you had the big lead late? And that's the one thing I have about the Raptors so far to start this year. They've had leads late, and they've just squandered. I think they had an 11-point lead today with 4 minutes to go. They lost it, went to overtime. You won, but you blew that 11-point lead with 4 to go. You had that Denver thing as well. You were up double digits with 2 or 3 minutes to go, and you found a way to blew it and lost. You can't have that happen. You got to continue to build up. That's rookie mistakes. You got to find ways to close. But a lot of great things looking out for the Raptors. You just got to keep going, right? All right? Because they have Denver Monday, and then back-to-back? No. Nobody plays on Tuesday, and then Wednesday is in Sacramento against this same Kings team. So it's going to be a tough couple games. Let's see what they're capable of. All right, so you know what, guys? That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and Vinsanity night and the game overall, because it was a very entertaining night from start to finish, hit that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not done so already. Comments down below. Thoughts on the video. Thoughts on the game. What'd you like? What'd you not like from last night's game for the Toronto Raptors? Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok. All that stuff is down below, so follow up there if you haven't done so already. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition later on tonight as they are in Minneapolis, Minnesota against the Minnesota Wild. 6 p.m. puck drop there. And as for the Raptors, I'll talk to you guys. I'm trying to get a nap in before. 10 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night, 10 p.m. in Denver against the Nuggets as the Raptors look to win 2 in a row and beat some pretty good Western Conference teams. It's going to be tough, though. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the game last night. Talk to you guys then.